Well, I got the spray paint out and I was finally painting these two rusty engine plates over here. Motor plate mounting brackets, I guess you'd call them. Brackets for the front motor plate. So the motor plate goes in front of them so you don't even see it, and all the sharpness and everything kind of just disappears once they're bolted together. So really no need to like shave them down or anything more. I reloomed most of where it was a little burnt. So that looks good now. Some fresh heat shielding, bunch of other stuff. Just little things that this is the best time to do them. Back here, these brackets, I never painted them. They were rusty. Painted those a little bit more. Yeah, like that. Just to get something on there so that they didn't look so ratty. Dogs are out here. They're laying under the grapefruit tree. Bowser's over there. Henry's over here hanging out, eating some grass. The engine is completely apart, ready to go to induction just the way it sits. I'm gonna bring a box and then pack up the rest of the stuff. Just the little miscellaneous things that need to come off once we take the timing belt off. I didn't want to tear it too far down so we can so they can really see and go through what they want to take off, and you know, all that kind of good stuff. Still got to pull the flex plate off, but that thing is really stuck on there, super tight. So the tolerances on that thing are insane. Jason at ATF really knows what he's doing. If the tolerances are so tight that without the bolts in there, you can still spin the crank. That's how tight that thing is on there, which is exactly what you want. And then this side, intake side, is all off. Look at how small this engine is. Like, that's the whole cylinder head. Look at how that's the block right there. That's it. I took the exhaust off, and if you guys follow me on Facebook, you saw me talking about this and posting about this. I used a bunch of pieces of Scotch-Brite and just cleaned it up as best as I could. Some of it's still a little questionable. It's not perfect, but it's so much better. If you guys have any good tips, I know there's like a WD-40 trick. I'm not quite done. That's how it all looked before, but it looked really bad before. Like just terrible. It got some trans fluid on it when we had that initial fire last TX2K, and I was never able to get it off effectively. So it just kind of sat with these stains on there. But now that it was off, figured I'd clean it up. All right, the engine is here at induction. Going through it, just took the valve covers off. Nothing was really wrong with it, but see what was starting to fail before things fail is always a good, it's always a good rule of thumb. And when you make power like this, 1500 horsepower out of a car that has, you know, ports that big, look at that, you're gonna have things that are wear items internally. So 100 plus passes, a lot of hard hits on this thing. So we'll go through it and show you guys what we find.
The thing was, this engine was put together originally for your Mark III, you know, which is
800 horsepower.
Yeah, street car, 800 horsepower, not anything crazy.
And then we switched the cams.
Switched the cams and
that was
turned
it
into a race motor, essentially.
It was the same bottom end, same oil pan, like it was already together, and then just switch the cams out. And we're running these billet, what are they, the GSE
billet S2s.
The S2s, yeah, the billet S2s, VVTi, and these are the factory style shimless buckets, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have their questions about this, but I think this is a lot of proof that looks still unran. It literally looks like brand new still. The only things that we see are this one, but that's just because they spin, and that's how they're designed, is to spin like that. But they look perfect. And this is an unported head, which is pretty interesting too. So this was, we honestly thought it had more because it's been together so long. We kind of lost in translation what it had into it, and it has less than we thought. So
the porting isn't a huge deal with these heads. They move a good amount of air without porting, but yeah, at your level you could definitely stand to pick up some from the porting. But the biggest thing here is just the engine just showing virtually no signs of wear for having, you know, being thrashed on for 100 passes. And you know, for everybody out there saying that the billet cams just tear up these heads, you know, you can tell that's clearly not the case when they're set up correctly.
No, I mean, you won't find many 2Js at the track that have been beat up like this one has. And to see that is really, it's a really good feeling, knowing that you don't even have to replace those.
But we'll get some shimless ones now that it's going back together.
Probably a good idea. So head is off and we're just looking, and cylinder 4 here is all dented in, and that's just from just running a little spicy. Happens. So glad we pulled this thing apart and found this before it was a bigger issue. But looks like fresh pistons are on the list. Pretty crazy. Don't mind all that shavings in there. That was from me cutting a stud off the cylinder head and it went in. I didn't really worry about it because I knew this thing was getting remachined anyways. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but that's crazy. So damage there, we know that, but that was still okay. I'm sure the rings are a little worn out because I was definitely getting some good blow by, but the head gasket right there, it looks like we got it. So that last couple hits, I noticed my coolant overflow was starting to get a little bit of water in it. Not a whole lot, and it's honestly, you know, you would say that's somewhat normal in a 2J, like when you're making that much power to lift the head a little bit and then it kind of settles back down. A lot of people have this same deal happen, but that's just a little bit coming out there. All right, we're pulling the bottom end apart here. The crank looks really good. All the bearings look pretty good. I mean, they're not like obviously beautiful. They've been very well run, but they look really good. Around the pistons look good. Just really all around good looking stuff still. We're definitely losing most of our crankcase through the one that was damaged, unsurprisingly. These aren't going back in this motor or probably any other, so don't be afraid to see them on the ground here. It's not like these are going back together in something, but we'll inspect them and see if we find anything crazy. All this stuff is pretty nice looking. There's a couple of marks, but that's not completely unexpected at all.
Nothing for what you got out of this motor.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, this, we all know well and good this thing's got over 100 hits on it. The amount of dyno time, trans brake, street driving.
Look at how fucking clean it's inside.
Yeah.
Clean.
Yeah, there's no like grime buildup. That front one's definitely a little beat up, but like that's race car stuff to look like that.
Not just a race car. That's it's a gift of race car.
And this is a 3-liter motor we're making 1,500 horsepower out of. Like, look at the thrust washers. They look like you could reuse those. Yeah.
That one that has a little groove.
Yep. But most of them aren't like an actual groove. Yep. Crank looks freaking brand new.
Yeah.
And this is a stock crank. I always tell people it's just a stock crank with rods and pistons in it, and it really is. Like, even the head's not ported. Like, this motor, that's just a factory motor. Nothing crazy. I mean, what do you think as far as beating it up to how well it looks still? I'd say she fared well.
What I've known it to go through, I'd say it's pretty good.
Well, guys, I just left the motor at Induction Performance. They're going to go through it, get it fixed up, get it freshened up, get that thing put back together, and we are going to put it back in the car as soon as possible. I cannot thank those guys enough. They have been so awesome on this program, whether it's tuning, engine components, parts, advice on running this car, how to maintain the engine. Those guys have been freaking awesome. If you guys ever need any parts for your Supra, your GTR, any JDM car, even most domestic stuff, they can get you basically anything you need. Do not hesitate to reach out to Induction Performance, email, phone call, whatever it is. Those guys are freaking awesome. I was up at Induction today, so I figured I'd stop by the good people at Faster Proms. How you guys been? It's been a while. Oh, I got transmission fluid on my, or oil on my screen, my lens. Sorry guys, how's the audio? It's still pretty bad. Guys, don't mind this side of the screen. Just pay attention to this side where Jeremy is. GoPro life. GoPro stuff, you know? We got low budget on this channel. About $50 a year for camera equipment, so I have to really make it work.
$50?
That's why this one's a 9.
Saved it for like 8 years.
Yeah, I saved up for a few years. That's why it took me so long to start a channel. But Laz is working on his truck. I've only been here about 3 times in the last year, and every time I'm here, Laz is working on this truck. He assures me, though, that it's only when I show up he's working on it.
We schedule it that way.
It's very weird, because I come randomly as well.
Yeah, we got your track.
And then Juan has 2 of his cars in here he's working on.
His
So
list of cars keeps growing.
they have more cars in here than you.
We're actually just discussing that.
You
today.
only have the 1, and they have 2 each.
Yeah, look at this. I'm outnumbered.
Yeah.
One car here. They have 2.
Yours are outside. Yeah, outside in the rain. Tough break, dude. Whose trailer is that too? That's Juan's?
That counts as 2 cars, by the way. I mean, look at the size of the thing, too.
How often does he use it? He couldn't have at least just put one of your cars in there? One of the ones that sit outside?
I should keep you around. You're like a lawyer.
I'm just here to help you. All right, so I came because they were going to tune this thing, and I wanted to see the live action of spraying it with almost double the horsepower and nitrous.
Well, I don't know about that, but
You said it made 160 and you're spraying it with the 200 shot, right?
yeah. Well, 160 on a cold day.
Yeah.
On fully 85.
Yep.
Yeah, one of them LS stuff.
Sometimes it stalls.
Sometimes it stalls.
By my own doing. So I can't drive.
Is this mounted to anything?
Whoa. It's 7:30. You know what that means? It's cat nap time.
You guys take naps at this shop now?
Yeah.
Damn, I wasn't around for those.
No,
not
no,
aware
it's
this whole cat
the new
nap
law.
Is this your catch can?
What catch can?
I don't know what it is.
Oh, don't look at that.
It's something weird.
Just that right here. These are free. These are valve covers from a paint shop. So
Okay.
thank you, Jeremy, for the hookup.
Those valve covers. What are those? Hemi color?
Yeah. Well, I matched the block. I had to paint the block to match it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I had the.
Oh yeah, the block too. Well,
yeah, it's it's that new LXX.
I mean, it is a drift car in every sense of the word. You abuse this car
Of course.
every time you
see
drive
my
it.
spacers, man? Look at that.
Gosh dang, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you're on some nice wheels all around. HREs.
Yeah.
Got some BC coilovers on there. I mean,
It's a good car.
pretty sweet.
It's a good car.
When you get a compliment from Jeremy when he drove it home.
No, honestly, this car. I like
Yeah, but have you seen what he owns? When you get a compliment from the guy that drives a K series smart car.
a busted Crown Vic.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is truly one of the best driving C5s. Period. I mean, you can do a lane toss at 75 miles an hour, just yank the wheel, and it
Goodness,
goes.
I ain't riding with you for that.
But it's quite a sensation. It really feels well.
The quick, when death crosses through your brain real quick, it's really exciting. A lane toss at 70? Where do you do this at?
On the highway on the way home.
Ulmerton?
That outlandish.
Dude, Ulmerton out there. In front of Chick-fil-A.
It's just another ride home, you know.
Alright, well, we're gonna see what this thing dynos here.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, I would be nervous as well.
Why? I mean, like,
I don't
know
like
why people
dynos.
get nervous. They're like, it's on the dyno. It's in a controlled environment.
You know, when it's someone else's ride, it's like, all right, let's send it. But
It's
when
like you're
when
just gonna go do that on the way home.
No, I just hate dynos. I've just
Yeah.
always hated cars on the dyno.
it's like when it starts climbing the RPMs, it's like, oh my god.
There's so many things that are moving that could go wrong right now. I get it. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I don't get joy from dyno stuff.
No, me either.
Cooper gets great joy out of watching somebody else's though, and like fails and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't everybody enjoy other people's pain?
Yeah.
When you go through pain a lot, it's nice to see somebody else in that
Misery
position.
loves company, I think, is the cliche.
Yeah. It's like, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, it happens, you know?
Which, by the way, Cooper, I want to give you some props on your little sucky beard. It's grown by leaps and bounds.
Thankfully, somebody's giving me props because generally in the comments they just question what that is. And there you go, guys. It's technically a beard.
It's a baby beard.
It's a beard. Listen, I don't have big facial hair in my family. This is about all we get. This is all we get. I'm okay with it. I don't get back hair. I don't get like chest hair. I'm fine with just this.
All the hair.
I'm fine.
I get nothing.
Nothing. Just baby faced.
I get this and then this one here.
Jeremy has it all. I'm fine. I'm fine with the lack of hair. All right. Well, Jeremy needed 6 hours to decompress before he tuned this.
Feeling good now.
Now you're ready.
Hey, let's say 7:30 was nap time.
Yeah, that's true. We did take a nap at 7:30. A group nap. You guys should have been there. It was great. Jeremy's a really good snuggler. What? The best. Yeah. Fellow golden retriever owner, you know, you gotta learn how to snuggle with a dog. Well, yours don't all sleep in your bed like mine do. They made a couple dyno pulls on Juan's car, and when the nitrous was turned on, it was running out of fuel system. So they need to fix that, and then maybe I'll come back again and hang out with them. But it was really cool seeing those guys. Really cool seeing the induction guys. Always like hanging out with everybody. Nice to make the rounds, I guess you'd call it. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please comment, like, subscribe, all those good things. But that'll do it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.